Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of 80 Days, where we're going either north or south. I think we're going north. Or are we going south? Stupid map. Go! I went north. We took a Chinte from Yadanabon to Pangsao Pass. Our driver was a handsome, mustachioed Burmese man with a leg wasted by polio. Know much about Pangsao Pass? Only that is administered by our scheming enemies, the British. Begging your master's pardon, he said cheerfully. I never stay long, they're always up to something unpleasant, begging your master's pardon. I'm very uninterested in Pangsao Pass, and he finds my accent. I want to go to Canton. I know that's why I want to go to Canton. How about Mania? Well, that was a waste of time to talk to him. We travelled through the night. The forest turned a sepulchral shadowy green in the phosphorescence cast by the giant's headlamps. Converse. The driver dropped us off a mile outside Pangsao Pass. I got a bad feeling about the place today, said apologetically. You can get there on your own from here. You are being superstitious and foolish, I argued. I'm listening to my instincts, he replied tartly. The forest is very trampled. There are many soldiers moving about, which always bodes ill. I have to our bags and we slowly trampled our ways to the settlement of Pangsao Pass. It was easy to find. We just headed towards the curious-looking airships bobbing gently above the trees. Explore. There was a mood of grim celebration when we arrived at Pangsao Pass. A man by the name of Captain Chalmers has captured Surya, a notorious Indian revolutionary responsible for some of the recent disturbances in Chittagong. Would you like to come with me to interrogate the man? Captain Chalmers asked. I cannot trust the natives to guard my back. I smiled acidly in return. It's not my area of expertise. You must know the names of his fellow conspirators. I will do my duty to find them out, even if you will not. An hour later, I heard Surya screaming. I heard Surya screaming. Everyone in Pangsao Pass must have done so. I turned to Monsieur Fogg, my head shaking. I cannot bear this. Monsieur Fogg's expression did not veer from its usual calm implacability. We are not agents of the Crown Patrol, he explained calmly. We have no business interfering. It is an abomination, I spat. I do not think about it, he said deliberately, meeting my eyes. His cool blue gaze had a tint of gentleness to it, or at least I fancied so. I suggest that you take the same precaution. 6 hours later, they hanged Surya from a makeshift scaffold in the town square. I'm not detailed the state he was in. Captain Chalmers watched the whole thing without flinching and then vomited spectacularly over his own shoes. I want to leave Pangsar Pass and never return. I was to take back our decision to come this way. Yeah, my friends, we cannot have everything we want in this dark life. Chalmers gives permission to leave. We're going to look for departures. Canton, please, Canton. Yes. Tomorrow at 8 a.m. Way. There are no hotels in Pangsar Pass. We were put up for the night in a local man's thatched roof dwelling. Depart. Embark. Go. Garuda. Oh yeah. We boarded We boarded a Garuda, an eagle-like flying automaton, the size of a small airship bound for Canton. Captain Chalmers came to wave us off, but I could not look him in the eyes. A luggage was suspended from the creature claws. Trunks and suitcases all netted up like some sort of absurd prey. And then it began to beat its wing and we rose up into the air. Phileas Fogg attempts a round-the-world adventure. Thankfully, there were sleeping berths inside the Garuda's hull and other conveniences. I have troubles reading today, honestly. And other conveniences besides, but we all had to take turns upon the beds and sleep in shifts. I might have enjoyed it, but I could not shake the sounds of dying man in pass from my ears. They stuck as though they had sunk into every bone of my skull. Converse, maybe I'll learn something. Shaving kit, sure. Canton. I awoke to one of the crew's grinning faces peering in at me through a porthole. I leaped up in horror, perceiving that said crewman must be suspended outside of Garuda to be so rudely looking in upon me. I rushed up on the deck once I had taken my sleep model senses into hand, and saw the crew hard at work suspending an inverted canopy of pale blue silk under Garuda. What are you all doing? I do believe I placed my hands on my hips in irritation. Our jobs, said the nearest crew member, with a crack-toothed grin. Empress Sichi? I don't know. I'm going to say Sichi. Doesn't like airships and the like. The Chinese are likely to try to shoot us down if they spot us. Sky-colored camouflage, Monsieur Fogg remarked, coming up on deck beside me, an ingenious solution. They must notice when we land at Canton, I remarked sensibly. Or are you saying you merely continue this charade and pretend to be a very low-hanging cloud? Perhaps. The Empress doesn't like us, but she does like taxing trade, and we pay tax. The goat tossed her head and flashed another grin. That's why she puts up with you foreign devils, and why she wings at the airships as long as we put some effort in. You have a very political mind for an air woman, I noted. My pa taught me to read English for his sins. For since she barked a laugh. The name's Lynn Carrington, and while my pa was European and by all accounts a devil besides, Ma's a nice village girl from Yunnan. He struck her hand out, and I pressed a kiss to it, because that's what gentlemen did to it in that age, I think. She stuck her arm out, and I pressed a kiss to it with grave formality, which made her laugh and then punched me on the arm as though I had made a great jest. Let's converse. Greetings, Mademoiselle Carrington. Passepartout, you silly little man, how are you? How about Honolulu? Canton. Machu Picchu. Playing cards. Canton. Singapore. Rangoon. That wasn't really helpful, but I guess I'm going to Hong Kong then. Carrington, as she insisted I call her, tried to convince me to come out on the wings with her. It's a thrill like no other, she assured me, the only way to fly. Who am I to deny such an invitation? I said, stepping up beside her. Carrington's face lit up at my words, and quick as a flash she roped us together and tied one end to a sturdy metal pole which in place for the purpose of securing errant wing walkers. I waited for her to mount the wing and followed, and whereof her greater experience she ran the length of the wing, nimbly stretching the rope taut between us. I focused only on my feet, and as I dashed out along the metal wing, I could feel the reverberations of the engine through the metal, and the wind whipped into my eyes. What had possessed me to agree to such a rash action? Carrington laughed. Of course I had done it to impress a girl. Apparently I am doomed never to learn my lesson when it comes to my pride. Still, I cannot pretend I regretted a moment of it. Carrington and I sat together at the joint of the Garuda's wing. As it banked and descended to its destination, absolutely nothing between our feet and an enlarging vista of Canton. After a while I found I was crying. Passepartout, she asked, what is the matter? I saw some terrible things in Pang Sao Pass. I think they have not left me. Here, she gestured me to lay my head on her shoulders. You are well above the world, and I will sing to you. And she did, in lilting Mandarin, teaching me gently in between verses. I was almost sorry to land. Your character's no suave. Or how you pronounce that word? I don't even know what it means. It's glorious. I'm quite a flamboyant, apparently. You know what, let's just... Wait. I was going to sell that thing, right. Meaning... we're staying for one day. Canton's 13 factories had once been the only Chinese port which traded to foreigners. The city had grown opium rich and possibly lush until the Second Opium War, and the subsequent opening up of other treaty ports to foreign trade. Canton was still lovely, but it had faded beauty of decline, like a once great mounds falling into repair. We were lodged in the barbarian settlements, as the local termed them, on the sandbank island of Shamian, bordered by the Pearl River and connected to the mainland by 2 bridges. I spoke with the French-Vietnamese troops guarding the French bridge, who chattered to each other in a mix of Vietnamese, Cantonese and French. "It does me good to hear my mother tongue," I announced with a smile. "Does it?" They seemed singularly unimpressed by my appeal to them as countrymen. Then again, Frenchmen were probably 10 a penny in Canton. I looked across the canal to the mainland. "Why is the bridge guarded?" "So that there is no trouble," one of them replied promptly. It seemed an odd state of affairs that traders and merchantmen would need an island apart from the locals and imported guards beside. It was a stark reminder that foreign trade in China was performed at the tip of a sword. It was foolish for us to push in where we were so unwelcome, but that was the way of progress. The imperial dream could only be built upon wealth, and China was a plum too sweet and rich to resist. But to resist, China would, perhaps till the end. The fading bristling city of Canton was but a sign of the times. Let's wait until 7 AM. I would like to point out that I have not used the bank at all and no idea why I would. But anyways, 7 AM, sell this. And that's all I'm really going to do. Not I want to buy seasickness pills. They might actually be useful. Let's close the store. Plan to Hong Kong. Negotiate. Sure. I'll save time, and time is of the essence. I have a lot of money right now, and I pay a lot of money to save time, but yeah, well, even though it was only 80 miles from Canton to Hong Kong, the passage we were told would still take all day. We boarded a wobbly steam bicycle driven by a boy of tiny, violent proportions, which cheered and yelled as he kicked the bicycle into its side gear. Shaving kit. Money. If I can cross the ocean from Hong Kong or whatever I picked, I don't even remember. The bicycle rides fast and rough. What a ride! Bouncing around on an uncomfortable saddle, listening to our driver's endless chatter as the scenery rolled blankly past. We arrived a few hours later in the port of Hong Kong, and the boy stuck out his hand for a tip. I gave him £20 and sent him on his way. And nodded with thanks. Then he waved his finger off a single phrase of advice. "No opium," he said. "No, no, no." I thanked him for his guidance, and he giggled, then jumped on his bike and rocketed away. Nothing here I really want, so I would prefer to cross the ocean from here, if I can. Beijing. Oh, Yokohama. That would be a good goal, I guess, if it's not too expensive. I was looking over a bolt of bright red shiny silk when a man accosted me. This man had a moustache so fine, so luxuriant, so well tended that I briefly lost the power of speech. Wow, that's some moustache. I watched mesmerized as it quivered with his every word of introduction. He seemed his name was Fix. He offered me a drink, and given that I had a few hours to spare, I had to lie shamelessly to escape him, because I don't trust this guy for some reason. He comes off as a drug dealer. I had to lie shamelessly to escape him. "We are leaving immediately," I declared. "There's no time to waste. Is that so?" He replied with great interest. "And where are you going?" "That is my master's decision," I replied. Fix note, of course. Well, perhaps we'll see each other again." I agreed that I hoped so and scurried away, although I fancied that I saw him is starting to form out of the corner of my eyes more than once since then. Depart, and not Beijing, ideally. Tomorrow at 9, okay. And it will arrive on Saturday, that's almost a week. But it is cheap. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And I will see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.